still trying to get over this whole thing because, listen, Jesse, if you were doing a tutorial on what the collapse of great empires look like, just pick up your phone, start the video camera, because this is exactly what it looks like, and just leave it running. This is the movie. This is the autobiography of the American empire collapsing before our very eyes.
We have a lot of young people that work on my TV show, and I'm making $125 grand. They're now eligible to get, in some cases, up to $20,000, in other cases, $10,000. And this is new Green Deal radical socialism.
It's about the fact that Joe Biden wants to get reelected. He knows that 53% of people who are under the age of 35 disapprove of him. And this is one of the ways that he wants to get their vote. He wants to buy their vote. Look, my family paid for my education. I'm sure they had better things to do with their money. I didn't have to take out a loan because they paid for it, but they worked hard for their money. This is a giveaway, and it's disgusting. What about those people?
Clowns come in many forms, and they're all over Fox News. So this is how great empires fall, because some Pell Grants were eliminated. Specifically calling out your employees as not deserving help is such a weird choice to make for Sean Hannity. And then implying that it is wrong to give something that you promised you would if you got elected to your voters. That is bribing them. I would love to see Jeanine Pirro apply that to literally anything else that's been done politically over the last few decades. But Jordan, what do you think about their narratives there?
The Pirro clip was great. Oh, my parents paid for my education. Well, that's great. Good for you. Not everyone can just pick their family and a wealthy family. But also, when she went to school, college was much cheaper. It is probably since then, the average cost of a state school has tripled or quadrupled. So it was, and the state subsidies have basically inverted over the years. States used to subsidize, 80, sometimes 90% of your tuition. Now it's like 20% or so. So that's a worldview that they largely support. They don't want governments subsidizing these types of things. They want to cut all this government spending. Yep. So this is the problem that they have advocated for decades. And now they're complaining that people get a tiny bit of relief. On the Hannity thing, it's great. I would love to see a conversation where he looks somebody on his staff in the eye and says, this is terrible. You're getting $10,000 or $20,000 of your debt wiped away. This is so awful for you. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you would love to pay a 10 or 20,000. Nobody really wants it. Nobody who doesn't get paid to take these stances actually wants to pay more in student loans.
On Fox, just in the last day or two, they apparently have learned what many of us have had to contend with recently, which is that there's this massive teacher shortage, with a number of states being down literally tens of thousands of teachers. And it means that some have had to cut classes, some have had to cut literally a day, going down to 4 days of classes in a week. Now, we consider this to be a significant problem, because even prior to the pandemic, teachers were underpaid, not respected, not given the resources and time and attention they need to do their job. But it's a little bit funny to hear Fox News complaining about it, as if they haven't been encouraging people to harass and attack teachers. And so I wanted to give credit to Kat from Media Matters for doing a great job of responding to this. She's actually the one that raised it on Twitter that I originally saw about them talking about it. And so what she decided to do, as Media Matters often does, to put together this amazing mashup of what they've had to say about teachers over the last year or two. Take a look at this.
We're overplaying the importance of education.
So, doctor, this is grooming, right?
Brainwashing toddlers with racist drivel.
Cameras in the classroom as we put them on the chests of police officers.
But I don't think these teachers are even smart enough to be in the classroom.
Teachers hate teaching, and they hate their students.
They legit hate your kids.
They're lazy, they're incompetent.
Sluggish cat ladies in sweats stained with chocolate eclairs.
The KKK with summers off.
Teachers make 20% less than people with similar degrees, but they also work 20% less. They have school, they have the summers off.
They would like less work, no accountability, and much more pay.
They're teaching our children to sext.
They took God out of our schools, Sandra.
To view pornography.
And then the left replaced it with CRT, which is this neo-Marxist religion.
What they are doing is grooming our children for sexual predators.
This is a new world order.
Everything they do is anti-kid, anti-parent.
Why don't you go in there and thrash the teacher? And you're going to get hurt. And I think that should be the rule still. You get beaten up, you should be beaten up. Please.
Yeah, and look, you might think maybe that's taken out of context. I remember some of those specific clips because we've shown them here on the show before. That was multiple times that Tucker Carlson was advocating for people to literally physically assault teachers, saying, well, if they did this thing that I'm making up in a park, you'd punch them, so why don't you punch the teacher? That's what he was saying repeatedly. So they're gonna pretend that they're worried about the lack of teachers, that it's some problem they really care about, when they've been convincing millions and millions of Americans that they're literally trying to have sex with your children. That's who they are. And you should be physically beating them because of this thing that I'm trying to convince you that they're doing. It's absolutely sickening.